Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 2 of the Twin Tell All podcast. I am Ava.
I'm Aveen.
If you haven't listened to the first episode, that one's a really fun one about the twin life. Go check that out. But today we're going to be talking about a really, really exciting topic for Aveen and I, which is volleyball. Because we've been playing volleyball for a long, long time. Aveen and I are 20. We've been playing since we've been 8, 7?
I think maybe not 8, 7. We started playing in 3rd grade. So whatever age that is, we were playing in 3rd grade. And one of the things that I really want to focus or kind of reemphasize is the fact that even if you didn't play volleyball,
Aveen's she's trying to hold her cough, and I'm like, it's okay if you cough. She looks like she's about to throw up.
Okay, excuse me. Anyways, I didn't think our viewers needed to hear me cough. But so again, if you don't play volleyball, let's say you play soccer or if you dance, I hope that in some ways this content is still relatable to you, because it's just really about our experience playing a sport that we really like. So yeah, that's core. But one of the questions that I want to start off with, Ava, when did you really get introduced into volleyball? When did you feel like you developed a love for it? And how did you really get started?
Volleyball for me and for both Aveen and I, it's super funny because most kids are like, oh, my dad wanted me to play hockey. I'm going to put my kid in this sport just so that he can make friends or she can make friends. But Aveen and I's love for volleyball, we were the ones that wanted to play volleyball.
That's true.
We were like, oh, I want to do this because our parents love to play. We're Persian, and Persian people just love volleyball for some reason. It's almost their soccer. So when we were playing, it was we would go on vacation and our parents would play volleyball on the beach courts, and we would watch and be like, they're so cool. I want to be that when I grow up.
Exactly.
So we were like, we really want to do this.
And it was super funny because Dad had a very specific type of serve too. It was like a karate chop.
It was like a karate chop.
Literally
spinny, magnificent serve. And we were like, wow, he is so cool.
Exactly. And as a little kid, when you're watching your dad play or your parents play and they're doing well and whatever, you just look up to that.
Yeah, it was just really cute. It was exciting, and as a kid, you always want to do what your parents do.
Exactly.
So when your parents are playing volleyball and it's fun, you're like, I want to do that. So it was always we wanted to play, and it's actually really funny because a lot of the times we play, we played professionally. We're not professionals.
No,
but we played clubs, so where we were college level,
almost college level.
But when we would play a lot, we would play also a lot on vacation on the beach, and this is a life hack for people who, if they go on vacation. If you go on vacation and you want something to do and something that'll get you friends fast, playing volleyball on the beach is a go-to way to make friends. Aveen and I, when we went on vacation,
by far,
we have made friends. We still follow people we met on vacation on Instagram because we play volleyball.
And they're so sweet too. It's an instant connection. And everybody who also kind of goes into that core is already really friendly, very open as is. So it's just an instant friend.
Yeah, everyone that plays volleyball is sociable. For the most part, on the beach.
Yeah, for the most part.
I mean, you're gonna
on vacation, 100%.
We have friends from Canada and Germany that we've met.
South Africa,
just random people. So if you ever want to do something and you're I want to make friends on vacation, play volleyball.
Done
for sure.
Simply done.
But when we were playing,
shout out to you guys.
There's also shout out to you guys for listening. But there's also a really funny story when we were on the beach that I wanted to bring up. When we started playing club-ish. At 12 years old, but we started actually playing volleyball, getting coached by it when we were in 3rd grade. And so we were again on vacation, and Aveen and I were at the point where we could play better than a normal 8-year-old who just wanted to play to have fun. We were actually we could pass, we could set.
We were semi-good.
So we were on vacation at this vacation hotel spot. The pool was overlooking the volleyball court. So we were playing alongside 20-year-old men, muscle head men that were playing volleyball. And they're always muscle heads. Isn't that super interesting? It's
funny.
A stereotype.
It's always a guy in pink shorts.
And it's always that muscly guy, that he's buff, that thinks he knows what he's doing, that will mess everything up on the court.
He doesn't know a thing.
But it was just so funny because we were playing with a muscle head when we were 8 years old, and we were actually good because we were actually passing, and people on the pool were cheering for us. And Aveen had a pink bathing suit on, and I had a polka dot bathing suit, so they gave us nicknames of Pinky and Pokey. And the rest of that vacation, people were looking at us and being Pinky and Pokey. We were 8-year-old celebs.
No, literally, they would come up to us during dinner and just tell our parents oh, it's Pinky, and these are grown ass men. These aren't
these are adults that
adults that
but
were,
it was fun. It was cute. It wasn't
overlooking a pool
weird.
With their
it wasn't
beard.
yeah. It was
fun.
Cute.
It was funny.
But I'm gonna ask you, Aveen, what did you think of our first volleyball coach?
Okay, so just to preface, we're gonna call her Coach A. Coach A was literally an Olympian.
She was a menace.
She was insane. So the thing is, this was like our first like non-rec experience. So Ab and I, we started off playing rec, and then we ended up entering like the club space. And our region, like the North Texas, North Dallas region, is notoriously extremely good at volleyball. So a lot of the people that were around us that were on our teams and girls that we ended up playing with are like, I would say the majority of them either got committed their senior year, played their first year, or they're still playing D1 volleyball. It is very common
for girls in North, like we had a team in our region. Every single girl on this top team was committed to a Division I college, and not just a shitty Division I college. You know, when you say D1 and you're like, oh, like you're D1, but it's not a name you've heard. I'm talking Power 5 schools at like 17, and they were all on the same team.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy.
Like
and they
Stanford,
were in our region,
UCLA,
you know? Like
all
sometimes
of that.
you hear about these teams and you'll only see them at like a national tournament. Yeah. We were playing teams like that where girls, we also always qualify for nationals. Like you have a tournament, and there were girls that were not qualifying for nationals because of how competitive the league was, that were committed to Ivy League schools.
It was
so imagine you're committed
insane.
to an Ivy League school and your team doesn't even qualify for nationals, but other girls do. That's how competitive it was. But sorry to interrupt.
It's true. That's a good point. And so Coach A was very much the type of person that was coaching us 12-year-olds like we were full grown.
Yeah, she was an Olympian that was just going off, and it was so funny because we would choose our first coach, and we had a drill. So in volleyball, like I'm sure most people know, like there's serves. Imagine being like 12 years old, and she would say, okay, for this drill, you got to serve 100 serves, like until we can move on to the next drill. 100 serves is so many serves. And not only that, but we had like 10 people on our team. So every person we had a lot more. We had 15.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for a team for volleyball.
Again, for volleyball guys, 6 people play at once.
Yeah, so we had 9 people on the bench, and that's not common at all.
No.
But imagine 15 girls at 12 years old who it's their first team have to serve 100 serves over.
That is absolutely
like even college like practices don't even do that.
No,
they don't. And so it was so funny because we would just bullshit it.
Oh, completely.
We would be like, oh, like, because how can you? I gave up at 30 if we're gonna be dead ass. Like everyone gave up at 30 because I can't do that.
No, and it's like our practices would also be really intense. Like we would practice 3 times a week, 2 hours each time.
At 12 years old.
And we would play tournaments on the weekends. Sometimes we would have to wake up at 7 a.m. to be in our downtown area, which is like 30-minute drive away.
Yeah, it was crazy.
By 8 a.m.
She would also have us do drills. She would have us. You remember when you would set basketballs?
Yes.
And basketballs are so much heavier than
volleyball. As a 12-year-old, you are setting a basketball. Yeah. And I got hit in the face. Like, I was so weak and fragile.
Avita and I were also super tiny for our age.
We were so tiny.
We were like
we were literally
like
little string beans.
And I'm like, wow, like how could I even pick the basketball up?
No, literally, like I remember setting this basketball against the wall, and it literally went through my fingers, hit me straight in the face, and I had to go back and sit down. And literally, like as a 12-year-old, like being at a tournament on both weekends, Saturday and Sunday, for like 8 hours of your weekend is kind of insane. And I remember one time what happened was we played our first like 3 games, and then we had like I guess 4 hours of gap space between our next game, and it was pretty late. Like I would say it was like 5 p.m. So we had like kind of a late start, and our Coach A, made us sleep in a conference room in the dark. So we ended up sneaking into one of the our town's convention center closets.
And like a custodian's closet.
Imagine a custodian. Imagine 15 girls lined up like sausages inside of a package. Like literally like crayons in a crayon box. Lined up on the floor, pitch black dark. And she's standing over being like, sleep. Like, literally, like what? I remember there's this one girl that would not sleep. We had this one team.
It's like nap time when you don't want to fall asleep.
She knows exactly who she is. She was literally just giggling the whole time, and she was like, stop. And Coach A was like, stop it right now. We need to sleep. And she wouldn't let us have apples.
Coach A,
I remember she was
Coach
like,
A
apples are
crazy.
bad for digestion.
And we would do like weird, weird drills where we'd like, she would put those gym mats out and we'd have to roll like sausages, burritos in these mats and like dive, and like we used weights at 12 years old to like practice our hitting motion.
It was crazy, y'all.
We were wild.
And we even had game film. We literally had game film at 12 years old. So many girls
also cried, but that was
we
like
weren't
at
allowed
12
to
years
cry.
old. We were not allowed to cry. Like, you know when you're like 12 years old and like you lose a game and you're like so sad as if it was like the SEC championship, national championship you had to win. We would like, as soon as someone would start crying, she'd be like, no cry.
No cry.
No cry.
No cry.
And she would be like, no looking at parents either. So like as soon as someone would like look at their mom for any reason, she'd be like, look back.
No, she was literally like, I don't want you to see you looking at your parents at all. And so even like after that era, that first season ever, all the way into high school, every single season of club, we sometimes would even forget that like our parents were like, what? Like,
yeah, we
were not allowed to look.
Parents.
Like, we were just so focused on the game. Sorry, I just got a text. We were just so focused on the game that we just simply did not. We forgot.
She was building athletes.
She was
building.
She was engineering the next.
She was creating a movement because that like those. If you had Coach A as your coach, nothing fazed you after that.
I mean,
especially at 12 years old.
Av and I also, like, as much as we loved volleyball, we were very, again, we kind of touched on this on episode 1. We were very committed to our academics too. So it was like both. So like a lot of our friends that were like really loved the sport. Like I loved volleyball, but not as much as Ava and not as much as a lot of my teammates. And so all of them that were coached, most of them that were coached by Coach A actually did end up going and playing at like
no, yeah, college. A lot of Aveen's, like Aveen and I, like at 12 years old from that team, I'd say like
90. The only ones that didn't end up playing in college
were us. Yeah, that's weird, or not weird, but like that just comes to show you she was building a movement.
She was building,
and the people that she coached,
athletes.
The people that she coached were real deal shit. Yeah. And so good that Aveen, little shout out to you, served. We were at this qualifier, and qualifiers are really like competitive. Like they're not little league. People are trying to qualify for USA volleyball. Places, yeah. We were like 12 years old, and Aveen,
were we 12?
I don't remember. Very young. Yeah, I think we were 12. Young.
Yeah, we were fairly
and
young.
Each set in volleyball is to 25. Aveen served. We won that set 25-1. So imagine at 12 years old, a 12-year-old or 13 serving 25 in a row.
It was the 100 serves, bro.
It was the 100 serves because she served 25 in a row, which is absolutely crazy. Especially when you're young like that. Like she didn't make a mistake for 24 straight serves. I don't even think I could do that like in high school, like when I finished.
No.
But okay, so moving on from Coach A shout out Coach A, honestly.
Literally?
That's not her name, but like
we're keeping her anonymous.
That's not her name, but like she deserves so much more credit than what we gave her.
No. Like, and it's like, it was just, again, shout out Coach A.
Shout out Coach A.
She really helped us a lot. She helped build our foundation.
Yes.
For sure.
So Aveen, next question. Did you have any injuries that scarred you to this day?
So honestly, we had some minor ones here and there, like sprained ankle, whatever. But the biggest injury I had was I got concussed in high school by a girl. Shout out to her. She knows who she is too.
She's actually on the US okay, we're not gonna say.
We're not gonna.
This isn't gonna be public knowledge.
Yeah, let's not expose her. But
why would she be exposed?
Expose her.
I feel like if I could
listen.
Also, pause.
She may or may not be listening to this. I just don't want to call her out.
There was also big beef with like concussions. Like when a girl got concussed in volleyball, people would like get full on mad. Lots of stuff in that. But anyway, move on.
So I was concussed by this girl. She is a beautiful, amazing, wonderful person, an athlete. She ends up playing in college. And so I got hit in the face, and that was pretty much it. I just remember being out for like
there was this one injury that Aveen got that I will never forget. But we were oh my God. We were in what year? I don't know. We were in some age. And Aveen got hit in the face with a ball.
Y'all.
But when I say hit in the face, it's like, you get hit in the face. She got hit in the eye. And she opened her eyes, and she had a lazy eye. And Aveen does not have a lazy eye. One of her eyes literally looked like a bobblehead pointing in one direction, and she was like, Ava, I can't see. And after that image, that is scarier than the Conjuring movie. Or whatever scary movie you can think of, that image is lasered in my eye because she looked for real like,
it looked like,
oh my god, like
listen,
I was
remember
so
looking
scared.
at Ava's face. I got scared from looking at Ava's face because in my brain nothing was wrong, right? I just remember feeling my eye was like a little bit off.
No, that was really off. Not just a little off. Like it was so off to where I was so scared.
That was so
I was
funny.
like, after that, I was like, permanent eye damage is possible for you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and I was so shocked, but it was so scary.
I just remember it was that concussion, the eye thing, and then there was another time I got hit in the face. It was like I was a peewee little freshman, and we were playing against like this like really big team in high school, and I got hit in the face so bad I had a ball mark. I had a black ball mark on my
she
nose.
got a tattoo.
And I remember my coach like literally like licked her thumb on the side to try to kind of smear it off of my nose, and it was just like a little black mark.
Free tattoo for Aveen on her face, but also I
didn't pay for it.
Aveen and I didn't get hurt that much, like other than like the standard like spraining ankle. But I remember I got hurt. I was also really fucking passionate for some reason at 12 years old. So we were at a tournament again, and there was a seat of chairs on the side. I dove for this ball, and I banged my chin on the chair. I got up, and it was a ping pong sized like lump.
And listen, as someone who was witnessing this, Ava, again, 12 years old, told she couldn't cry, told she couldn't look at her parents, literally got up. She has a fucking ping pong sized lipoma on the side of her face, okay? Comes back, no tears. Everybody's trying to give her water, calling dad, calling mom. Nope. She literally tightens her bow and goes right back on there.
I also
and
did not have
resume.
Like when I was 12, guys, this is actually another thing. I had short ass hair to where like a bob. I didn't even put it out. Yeah, I didn't even put my hair in a ponytail. Like that was embarrassing for me. Someone needed to say, Ava, you gotta grow the hair out for a ponytail. Like my hair was like just a bow. Funky.
You know what? She had her own flair. Everybody knew who she was.
But I was also number 99. I thought I was.
Oh my god,
so
yeah.
cool.
She literally picked 99. You guys.
I picked 99. And everyone was like 1, 2, 3, and I was 99.
Like think like you have 22. Like we didn't even have anything in the 20s because we only had like 15 people on our team. So everybody picked like numbers under 20, and then all of a sudden you have like someone in a different color jersey.
I was
also
the it girl
9.
with the lipoma.
And so. That kind of, but just to preface, like Ava's position, again, I say the different color jersey. She was libero. Basically, you just played back row the whole time, and I always.
It's also the shortest one because I was so much shorter than everyone. And
again,
everyone
we were
was like
tiny little string beans.
Labora,
we were not
libero.
There was no way we were going to be hitting. There was,
but
no way.
Also there was 2 other funny stories. There was one funny story where we always had tough coaches.
Oh yeah,
one of our coaches. I think we were like in high school or middle school at this point, 7th, 8th grade. One of the girls on our team, let's call her Jessica. Jessica was lactose intolerant.
Oh my god.
And decided to eat mac and cheese before a very important game.
Milk. Also, guys, I hope she's not listening to this, but like milk and mac and cheese, that combo. Like,
it's a lactose intolerant lover's dream. What do you mean?
No, but like I also don't get how that would taste good.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Some people love milk though. I'm a milk lover. I will drink
that's kind of
milk.
Disgusting, you guys.
People
Flame
at the
Ava,
barista
please.
are like, oh, like
Oat
what milk alternative? I'm taking that bitch whole. I'm taking that bitch whole. Like I am strong.
We want milk. We want pure got milk. Ava has it.
Yeah.
But this is the other thing. It's like, again, I've heard people also drink like milk with spaghetti.
Disgusting.
Literally
disgusting behavior. Unless you're like 5, like I'll let it pass.
We'll let the chicken nugget milk.
But anyway, Jessica decided to eat
Oh
mac and cheese and milk before a very, very important game.
And this was like our split games. It's like
it was
we played
like
the first
a crossover,
3, and then this was like
which means
crossover.
A crossover means like you better win or you're going to silver. Because basically, if you win enough, you get in gold bracket, and then gold bracket is like win single elimination till championship. So I have never ever experienced something like this, but in the middle, and she was a setter, which means like she's one pivotal position.
Yeah, like you can't.
She's like the quarterback. Yeah. A setter is like the quarterback of the team of volleyball.
Oh my god.
She left dead ass in the middle of a point.
She's
like in the middle of a point.
Like imagine you're playing soccer. Like imagine this: you're playing soccer and you just run off the field.
She was lucky we were playing right by the bathroom.
Oh my god!
Because these convention centers are really big, so like the chances of you playing like right next to a bathroom are very low. this girl ran off the court mid-play. And imagine, like, you're just playing a very important game and she just walks off. We, like, didn't ask what even happened to the ball in that play.
Listen, I don't
even know what happened.
I think we ended up winning the point somehow. But, like,
and she just ran off.
And everybody just ran off. And our coach has never been so mad. She was like, and I was again, because I was the other setter, I was like, Aveen, go. And so, like, I just ran on the court and it was just super funny. But
yeah, thank God we had a backup, but this bitch ran off.
No, she literally ran off. It's like, just to tell you how big these convention centers were, like, imagine the size
200
of
courts.
200 courts.
Easily.
The size of, like, multiple football fields.
No, these tournaments were at convention centers where, like, you see auctions and you see, like, gamer, video con, whatever.
It was ginormous.
But it was all volleyball, which was so nice, though. Like, you would walk in and you look to your left and there were... If you don't want a visual, search up volleyball convention center, like, tournament, or, like, Lone Star Classic.
Yeah.
And look at these videos.
That was the main one
so
that we had in Dallas.
But anyway, last story is Aveen forgetting.
Oh my god, this was so embarrassing. So another, like, kind of funny story growing up. So this was kind of like early middle school, maybe middle school, and so we were still with Coach A at this point.
Yes,
big note. And the thing that happens in volleyball is you typically get to warm up for like around 15 minutes before the game actually starts. And so to keep warm, people normally wear hoodies or long pants and stuff.
You also always have a warm-up jersey.
Exactly.
Like, they give it to you as part of being on the team.
Exactly. And so we had this warm-up jersey. I had my warm-ups
and warm-up pants.
I had my warm-up pants on.
These clubs provided good-ass shit.
Yeah,
like, we were, like, 12 years old with a
like,
dead-ass
we had, like, Nike's shit.
Yeah, we had, like, good stuff, but it was also expensive as hell, so it makes sense. But anyway, you were wearing your warm-ups.
And so I was wearing my warm-ups, and we had this was, like, one of our first morning games. And so Av and I, we woke up at, like, 6 a.m. to get there at 7. And so I was warming up with Ava, and typically what happens is you just basically take off your jersey, you take off, like, your warm-up cover-up, and then you take off your pants, and then you have, like, your spandex and your knee pads and all the gear that you need underneath, so there's nothing else to do. So the game is about to start in like a few minutes, and I take off my pants. I'm in my fucking underwear in the middle. I literally forgot to wear my spandex,
which is the core part of your entire.
Exactly. Like, and I was like, and I literally look over, and I'm literally, like, in my, like, little purple pink underwear in the middle of the court with everybody looking. So the way that I strapped on these pants immediately after, and then I literally went, and it was super funny because this girl
had a backup.
Right,
this girl had backup.
But again, I mean, Ab and I are literally like string beans. This poor girl was like normal, and so she gives me her spandex. Guys, these spandex,
sagging,
and it's like spandex is supposed to be tight. Like, imagine like a legging type of fit, biker short kind of fit, something tight, like a bib almost in biking. Guys, like, literally falling off of me. I think I even had to use a hair tie at the back to, like, make sure it wouldn't fall off of my ass.
This other story, guys, we would play in, like, cities across Texas, and you would always pack your stuff in a volleyball backpack. Like, you would take a volleyball backpack with you and stuff. We went to San Antonio we live in the Dallas area. San Antonio's like 3 hours.
Oh,
San Antonio's like 3 hours. This girl on our team left all her volleyball stuff at home. Imagine going to a volleyball tournament and you forget the whole purpose. It's like traveling to Hawaii and forgetting your luggage.
Like, completely, like, leaving your luggage at home.
Like, she left all her volleyball shit, and we were just sitting there like, oh my god. So her poor ass parents drove 3 hours back. And keep in mind, we, like, drove there on a Thursday, and we had to play on Friday. Her parents literally drove back, all the way back, to get her.
Like, that could have been so avoided. Like, how is that, like, you know, when you go on a road trip, your typical thing is like, oh, like, let's check to see
how
what we have.
How pissed would you be if you had a kid and your kid was like, oh, like, I forgot my volleyball backpack.
Bro, you're not playing. I'm sorry. Like, or buy gear there. Like, you could, like,
but that's impossible, though, because we had a jersey, so, like,
jerseys.
And they're very strict about jerseys when you play, like, club. They're like, oh, they didn't even let us wear jewelry and stuff.
And it's like,
until, like, halfway.
Yeah, and it's like, that was a new rule. Like, volleyball players were not allowed to wear earrings. We were not allowed to, and even our high school coach was, like, very strict about this. Like, it was kind of insane. Like, I remember, guys, also, like, getting hurt and, like, injured and stuff is, like, part of the sport. Like, you, like, scrape your knee, you get a little bit of blood, like, it's fine. I remember we were in high school. I literally like dove for a ball, got like a little bit of blood on my jersey, and it was like an entire like commotion. Like I remember I had to be pulled on the sideline. She like brought the ref down.
She took the rules more seriously than the refs. But there's a ball. Speaking of blood staining, this is kind of blood trigger warning. But there's a ball at my high school with my blood on it.
Listen,
and it's permanently stained. So if you go to our high school and there's a ball with blood on it,
let's not.
That's my blood. It's my blood. I marked that.
You don't need a biohazard ball, okay? Like,
but literally,
biohazard
but
ball.
Also speaking of jewelry, you remember Avina and I got our doubles pierced.
Oh my god, that was such a nightmare.
And we were so pissed because they were like no jewelry, so we put like these weird ass plastic liners in or studs.
Imagine like a nail that was really
it was like
thin,
a stupid plastic
and it was like
thing
plastic.
you can buy on Amazon. But we put it in our second ear and like it was so uncomfortable. We took it out and like I took it out for one volleyball game. My doubles closed
literally less than an hour. And typically volleyball games don't last very long either.
I was so mad because it literally plugged and I was pissed.
And yeah, and just to like preface like the whole length of games and stuff, like volleyball used to occupy a lot of Avani's time. Like I remember one tournament or one game that we went to, we got to like our tournament convention center, the place that we were going to play our game at like mid-afternoon, like around 1:12.
Volleyball games took so long and you never knew when you were going to get out because sometimes like certain tournaments are like, oh, like you guys got to win at least this number of sets or you guys need point differentials or we have to look at this. So it was always a wild card of when you were going to get out. But at this place,
guys, we got there at around 1:30
p.m.
We did not leave until midnight.
12 a.m.
We didn't leave until 12 a.m. And we had a game at 8 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, at 8 a.m., which means you gotta wake up at 6.
You gotta wake up at 6
and we hadn't
7.
even eaten yet.
No.
So we imagine finishing a game at 12 a.m. in the middle of Houston, and we went to IHOP that night.
And that was our first IHOP. Time. Yeah, because there was nothing else that was open.
Love the salty ass pig.
Yeah, there's
some of our friends work at IHOP and like literally, if you go to IHOP, salty. Yeah, but like if you go to IHOP, just trigger warning because I don't know if it's safe. Yeah. But anyway.
I was concerned for your safety.
For you.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so we woke up at 6 a.m., like 6 hours of sleep, and had to get up early the next day. And what was even more weird was the same team that we played at 12 a.m., we were playing again the next morning.
And guys, so that there was a game even after us.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Exactly.
There was like, we weren't even the last
game, which was unheard of. So there were like refs at the gym at this convention center at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, what the hell?
It was so bad. We've never seen it
so
like
badly
that before.
Organized.
But yeah.
Was that in California? Or Houston. No, Houston. Yeah, you're right. It was
Houston. Some Texas thing because there's a tournament called Tour of Texas where like all the Texas teams play. But it was crazy.
It was crazy.
So yeah,
it was absolutely
lots of volleyball. We may need a second part for this.
I don't know.
But if not,
maybe not.
We hope you enjoyed this volleyball story. We're gonna probably start putting polls for y'all to ask questions or to put what y'all want us to talk about. But thank you guys so much for listening to episode 2.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers.
See ya.